Whoa, whoa, I'm here to deliver the awful news of the day. Hold on. How is everybody that perhaps is here and perhaps is not here? Whoop. I'm gonna do two main topics and then I shall jump into something else entirely. 23 subscribers. Interesting. Hello. Oh yeah, I might as well start with the AI thing. Pray to God that you don't get injured, and then pray to God that the AI does not perform surgery on you. Well then, just wait for the news. Just wait for the new news about AI performing surgeries on people and possibly killing them because the new technology has to be implemented as soon as possible, right away, right now. We need this technology. How does that make you feel? Does it make you feel a bit better? Not that doctor is gonna make mistakes anymore. It's gonna be AI now. Okay, see? Sí, señor. What does that sound to you? Let's take a look. I know all of you are fans of AI technology. And I know all of you are true believers, especially, have you seen the epic compilation? Okay, before we get into the AI killing people, let's distract ourselves with something cooler, okay? So that we don't lose sight of what's important. And we put on the things, okay? Because you don't seem to understand what's important in life, I feel like. I feel like your priorities are all screwed up, and I'm here to bring you back to what's important. Hold on. Where are my bookmarks? There you go, bookmarks. I don't think you understand what truly matters. And I'm here to remind you, okay? Where is it? Where's the thing? Also, some Polish kid finished a Rubik's Cube. In 3 seconds. Some Polish kid has broken the record of... There you go. Oh my God. This is the true awesomeness of AI, because before you go into your sad tirade on how AI is not amazing, I will show you why it is amazing, and it's gonna be epic and cool. Okay? It's gonna be the most epic and cool thing ever that you have witnessed. Hold on, let me pour myself something to drink, because this thing is making me hungry, and let me show you, okay? Immediately you will jump on the AI train after I show you this. It's time. Is it time? There you go. Will Smith eating spaghetti progression. Wow. All right. Look at this.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
You see how it's progressing? 2024, 2025, and finally, 2026.
So have you heard of Kling 3.0?
I heard it can create multiple scene cuts like this with a single prompt.
Wow.
And it knows when to cut to whoever is talking.
But did you know that all this audio was also generated with the same prompt?
I guess I didn't, sir.
Study harder, kid. Eat your spaghetti.
Really? This is why AI is so amazing. AI is going to save the world. I truly believe that. I truly believe that AI is going to fix your situation, whatever it is, okay? But for now, as AI enters the operating room, reports arise of botched surgeries and misidentified body parts. Whoops. I guess AI is killing people on the operating table. But you know what? Take heart. It's gonna be like with the spaghetti thing. It's gonna be 1 year, it's gonna be this amount of killed people, and the next year is gonna be that amount of killed people, and we're gonna celebrate the decrease in the amount of killed people as AI learns on botched surgeries. Isn't that cool? We're really getting a data set, a data pool. We just gotta get Grok kill a whole bunch of people, or whatever else is being used for operations. Medical device makers have been rushing to add AI to their products, while proponents say the new technology will revolutionize medicine. Regulators are receiving a rising number of claims of patient injuries. Well, of course, you have to create that data set somehow, and you do it by trial and error during surgery. You have to throw the AI into the deep waters and let it do its thing, or else we will never see progress. They let a dodgy AI enter medicine before they ease up on the incredible barrier of entry for living people to perform it. Yes, of course. The whole idea is to throw people out of stuff, okay? Not to let them into stuff easier, okay? You have to pay people. You don't have to pay AI. Have you considered that? Have you considered that AI does not need payment? And many other things that regular humans do? Have you considered that even for a moment? In 2021, a unit of healthcare giant Johnson & Johnson announced a leap forward. One leap for AI means many bodies for humanity. It had added artificial intelligence to a medical device used to treat chronic sinusitis, an inflammation of the sinuses. Acclarent said the software for it is 2D navigation system would now use a machine learning algorithm to assist ear, nose, and throat specialists in surgeries. Oh wow. Oh wow. The device has already been on the market for about 3 years. Until then, the US Food and Drug Administration had received unconfirmed reports of 7 instances in which the device malfunctioned and another report of a patient injury. Since AI was added to the device, the FDA has received unconfirmed reports of at least 100 malfunctions and adverse effects. There you go. We're gonna make medicine great again by adding AI, because AI is ready. We are ready to treat people using Grok. Grok is going to perform the surgery. Acrajon says, great, so the AI healthcare system can now deny my AI surgery halfway through the procedure. Yeah, it's okay. Grok will cure your bladder by calling itself Mecha Hitler. Introducing artificial intelligence to the 3D navigation system because the future is now. With TrueSet, you can segment anatomy during procedures, and with true path, calculate the shortest valid path from a starting point to a target point. So a video. There's a video here. Oh, where's the video? Come on. This is just a screenshot? Wow. At least 10 people were injured between late 2021 and November 2025, according to the reports. Most alleged involved errors in which the 3D navigation system misinformed surgeons about the location of their instruments while they were using them inside patients' heads during operations. Whoa. You know what? Trials for experimental stuff used to be voluntary. You used to have to just sign up for experimental medication. But now I guess the whole population is considered lab rats on which you just test your AI on them. And I guess you pass the test if you survive the surgery. Well done. Great. The future is here. The future is now. Cerebrospinal fluid reportedly leaked from one patient's nose. In another reported case, a surgeon mistakenly punctured the base of a patient's skull. In two other cases, patients each allegedly suffered strokes after a major artery was accidentally injured. FDA device reports may be incomplete and aren't intended to determine causes of medical mishaps, so it's not clear what role AI may have played in these events. The two stroke victims each filed a lawsuit in Texas, alleging that the TrueD system's AI contributed to their injuries. The product was arguably safer before, integrating changes in the software to incorporate artificial intelligence, than after the software modifications were implemented, one of the suits alleges. Well, I mean, you need to teach the AI somehow, right? You need to teach the AI how to do the stuff. And how else, if not by doing the real surgeries with experimental AI, of course. Great rant. Why would head surgery be the starting point for experimental AI? Because you need to create the data pool, and real life patients are the perfect, guinea pigs. No? Don't you agree? You don't agree with this assessment? Reuters could not independently verify the lawsuit's allegations. Asked about the FDA reports on the TrueD device, Johnson & Johnson's referred questions to Integra Life Sciences, which in 2024 purchased Acclarent and TrueD navigation system. Integra Life Sciences said the reports do nothing more than indicate the TrueD system was in use in surgery where an adverse effect took place. It added that there is no credible evidence to show any causal connection between the TrueD navigation system AI technology and any alleged injuries. There you go. The AI is just doing its job perfectly well, and it's the people that started messing up ever since AI has been implemented. Dr. Jones says, you know how the saying goes, to make an omelette, you have to crack a few eggheads. True. Exactly. We will make a doctor out of you yet, AI system. We will make a surgeon out of you. Insight into the incidents come as AI is beginning to transform the world of healthcare. Proponents predict the new technology will help find cures for rare diseases, discover new drugs, enhance surgeons, skill and empower patients. But a Reuters review of safety and legal records, as well as interviews with doctors, nurses, scientists, and regulators, documents some of the hazards of AI in medicine as device makers, tech giants, and software developers race to roll it out. Yeah. Hello, Simon Pierre Dubé. if there's anything that you should do with AI and when it comes to risking people's health, life, and safety, you should rush it. You should do it as fast as possible. You have to win the AI race after all and make those big bucks. That is what it's all about. Winning the race. At least 1,357 medical devices using AI are now authorized by the FDA, double the number it had allowed through 2022. The TrueD system isn't the only one to come under question. The FDA has received reports involving dozens of other AI-enhanced devices, including a heart monitor said to have overlooked abnormal heartbeats and an ultrasound device that allegedly misidentified fetal body parts. Oh boy. The future is here. The future of capitalism is here. Researchers from Johns Hopkins, Georgetown, and Yale universities recently found that 60 FDA-authorized medical devices using AI were linked to 182 product recalls, according to a research letter published in the JAMA Health Forum in August. The review showed that 43% of the recall occurred less than a year after the devices were green-lighted. That's about twice the recall rate of all devices authorized under similar FDA rules, the review noted. Whoa. I'm so shocked by this development that they're rushing something out to the market without proper care to make a quick profit, to win the race, to become the biggest game in town, might end up with bad results. Who would have suspected? Who would have suspected, right? The AI boom poses a problem for the FDA. No kidding. 5 current and former agency scientists told Reuters the agency is struggling to keep pace with the flood of AI-enhanced medical devices seeking approval after losing key staff. Uh-oh. Wait, FDA lost key staff? Huh. I wonder how that happened. How did the FDA lose key staff? What happened? A spokesperson for the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, which includes the FDA, said it's looking to boost its capacity in this area. Another form of artificial intelligence, generative AI chatbots, is also making its way into medicine. Many physicians are now using AI to save time, such as transcribing patient notes. But doctors also say many patients use chatbots to self-diagnose or challenge professional advice, posing new challenges and risks. Yeah, Grok told me that my cancer is not that bad, and actually I should just forget about chemotherapy. I should just go to a witch doctor in my town. That is what Grok told me, and I trust Grok more than anything in the world. Artificial intelligence became a business and social sensation after the launch of ChatGPT about 3 years ago. ChatGPT and other popular chatbots such as Google's Gemini and Anthropic's Claude use so-called generative AI to create content. Wait, hold on. This article did not even mention Grok, I guess. They are built on top of large language models, or LLMs, which are trained on huge troves of text and other data to understand and generate human language. Gemini. These AI tools are now being introduced into medical areas such as consumer healthcare apps. AI encompasses more than LLMs, however, and the technology made its way into medicine long before AI bots appeared. The field dates back more than 7 years. A key moment was when British mathematician Alan Turing asked in a 1950s paper, Can machines think? Machines. That's right. Can machines think? Well, they're definitely not in the 1950s, okay? I can tell you now, in the 1950s, machines definitely could not think. The FDA authorized its first AI-enhanced medical devices in 1995. Two systems that use pattern machine software to screen for cervical cancer. The type of AI used in medical devices today is often called machine learning, along with subset known as deep learning, which are trained on data to perform specific tasks. The technology is used in radiology, for example, to enhance and analyze medical images. It can help diagnose cancers by identifying tumors that doctors may overlook. I mean, it seems like AI is overlooking things as well. So I guess AI is just, it seems like AI is replicating human error, which is interesting to see. Such systems are also used in surgical devices. In June 2022, a surgeon inserted a small balloon into Erin Rolfe's sinus cavity at a hospital in Fort Worth, Texas. According to a lawsuit filed by Rolfe, Dr. Mark Dean was employing the TrueD navigation system, which uses AI to confirm the position of his instruments inside her head. The procedure, known as sinuplasty, is a minimally invasive technique to treat chronic sinusitis. A balloon is inflated to enlarge the sinus cavity opening to allow better drainage and relieve inflammation. But the TrueD system misled and misdirected Dean, according to the lawsuit Ralph filed in the Dallas County District Court against Acclarent and other defendants. A carotid artery, which supplies blood to the brain, face, and neck, allegedly was injured, leading to a blood clot. According to a court filing, Rolfe's lawyer told a judge that Dean's own records showed he had no idea he was anywhere near the carotid artery, which the AI was supposed to inform him. Sinusitis. Sinusitis is so silly, such a silly word. Right? Reuters wasn't able to review the records, which are subject to a judicial protective order. Yeah, it's just you're employing AI to get rid of human error, and AI is just reproducing the human error, or even creating new types of human error, which is interesting. Isn't it interesting that AI just creates new types of human error? After Ralph left the hospital, it became apparent that she had suffered a stroke. The mother of 4 returned and spent 5 days in intensive care, according to a GoFundMe fundraising drive that was organized to support her recovery. A section of her skull was removed to allow her brain room to swell, the GoFundMe appeal stated. Okay, it's hooked on phonics, it seems. Yeah, it's true. Tomato, greater ain't. After Ralph left the hospital, it became apparent that she had suffered a stroke. We already know this. AI gave the person a stroke. I'm still working in therapy, Ralph said in an interview more than a year later in a blog about stroke victims. It is hard to walk without a brace and to get my left arm back working again. Yeah, and this was supposed to be a super non-intrusive, basically routine. It was supposed to be some sort of a routine, thing that you do. A routine procedure. In May 2023, Dean was using TrueDI in another sinuplasty operation when patient Donna Faringo's carotid artery allegedly blew. Blood was spraying all over, even landing on an Acclarent representative who was observing the surgery, according to a lawsuit. Faringo filed a U.S. District Court in Worth against the Acclarent and several manufacturers. One of the Faringo's carotid arteries were damaged. She suffered a stroke the day of the surgery, according to her suit. So I guess AI is causing strokes. Acclarent knew or should have known that the purported artificial intelligence caused or exasperated the tendency of the integrated navigation system product to be inconsistent, inaccurate, and unreliable, the suit alleges. Well, how else is the AI going to learn, as I said before, if it will not cause at least 50 strokes? It cannot learn. Don't worry. In the future, people will not get strokes. Oh boy. Acclarent has denied the allegation in both suits, which are ongoing according to court filings. The company says it did not design the manufacture the 3D system, but only distributed it, according to court filings. Acclarent's owner, Integra Life Sciences, told Reuters there's no evidence of a link between the AI technology and any alleged injuries. Yeah, there's no... The AI is supposed to tell the doctor where exactly he is in the operation, and the doctor had no clue where he was during the surgery. I wonder if the AI that was supposed to tell him that was involved at all. I wonder. What a mystery. Oh, there's no, But whatever. There's no evidence. Right? It reminds me of that court case for McDonald's when a lady got a fish fillet by mistake. She ate it and she got an allergic reaction. And McDonald's won the court case by proving that there is not even a tiny bit of fish in fillet of fish. There we go. Dean began consulting for Acclarent in 2014 and received more than $550,000 in consultants' fees from the company throughout 2024, according to Open Payments, a federal database that tracks financial ties between companies and physicians. At least $135,000 of these fees related to the TrueD system. There you go. Money speaks. An attorney for Dean said the doctor couldn't comment due to patient privacy and ongoing litigation. Integra said Dean is no longer a TrueD consultant and that payments made to him after it acquired Acclarent were for meals. In 2021, Acclarent's president at the time, Jeff Hopkins, was pushing to put AI in TrueD as a marketing tool to claim that the device had new and novel technology. Faringo's suit alleges. There you go. There's nothing better than to do marketing. This is just a marketing, I don't know, a marketing scheme when it comes to people's health. The eye just casually hallucinates and a blood clot in an artery that doesn't exist. Oh my gosh. The TrueD software uses machine learning to identify specific segments of a patient's anatomy and calculate the shortest valid path between 2 points specified by the physician. According to an Acclarent post on LinkedIn, the technology is designed to simplify surgical planning, and provide real-time feedback during procedures such as sinus operations. Well, it definitely simplified a lot of things. Okay, it definitely made a lot of things simpler. A lot of things became much easier. Acclarent officials had approached Dean about the plan to add AI, the Feringo suit states. The surgeon warned Hopkins and Acclarent that there were issues that needed to be resolved. The complaint adds, despite the warning, the suit claims Acclarent lowered its safety standards to rush the new technology to market. There you go. It's all about companies wanting to win the race, to have the tool that made it, to be the first, to be the monopoly, hopefully, and to make a lot of money. Nobody cares about patient safety. Nobody cares about the pleb. And set as a goal only 80% accuracy for some of its new technology before integrating it into the 3D navigation system. 80% is fine. Listen, some people might die, but most won't. Most won't. Reuters couldn't establish whether Dean issued the warning. Reporters were unable to review material submitted in support of Ferigo's claims, which is subject to a judicial protective order. Hopkins and former Acclarent president did not respond to a request for comment. I wonder why. I mean, it's okay. The earth is overpopulated anyway. It's a sacrifice the investors are willing to make, says Dr. Jones. Of course, in the name of progress and betterment of humanity, right? That's why the investors are willing to take that risk, right? For the betterment of humanity. Wrong body parts. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The FDA cautions that reports of adverse events and device malfunctions are limited. They often lack detail and redacted to protect trade secrets. And can be used alone to place blame. The agency also sometimes receives multiple reports for a single incident. Reuters found that at least 1,401 of the reports filed to the FDA between 2021 and October 2025 concerned medical devices that are on an FDA list of 1,357 products that use AI. The agency says the list isn't comprehensive. Of those reports, at least 115 mention problems with software algorithms or programming. One FDA report in June 2025 alleged that AI software used for prenatal ultrasounds was misidentifying fetal body parts, called Sonio Detect. It uses machine learning techniques to help analyze fetal images. There you go. Your child has 5 feet, 5 eyes, and 6 lungs. Sonio Detect software AI algorithm is faulty and wrongly labels fetal structures and associates them with the wrong body parts, stated the report, which does not say that any patient was harmed. Who cares about accuracy in medicine? Who cares? Sonio Detect is owned by Samsung Medicine, a unit of Samsung Electronics. Samsung Medicine said the FDA report about Sonio Detect does not indicate any safety issue, nor has the FDA requested any action from Sonio. The AHS, I don't know, it feels like it could cause potential harm if an AI says something that is not there. It feels like it opens doors for potential harm, to me at least. What if the AI proclaims that some body parts are missing when they're not, and a decision to have an abortion is made based on that? What then? Like, your child is missing both hands and feet. Sonio Detect software AI algorithm is faulty and wrongly labeled, so I really know that. We already know that. We already know that AI is a funny tool. At least 16 reports claim that AI-assisted heart monitors made by medical device giant Medtronic failed to recognize abnormal rhythms or pauses, which is the whole thing of much monitoring your heart. That's the only reason that you would monitor your heart, to capture those irregularities, which the AI does not. Great. None of the reports mentioned injuries. Oh, well, great. But none of it has to be injuries. Like, if the AI does not care about abnormalities in the rhythm of your heart, that could cause long-term harm. Absolutely. Medtronic told the FDA that some of the incidents were caused by user confusion. It's never the AI. It's the doctors, it's the users that are confused. It's everything but the AI, I guess, according to the big corporations, interestingly enough. We might have rushed this product to the market, but you know what? The AI is not to blame. It's actually the patients. It's the patient's fault. They're just confused. They're just confused doofuses. The AI algorithms in Medtronic's LinkQ series of implantable cardiac monitors are described as deep learning artificial intelligence. They have greatly reduced false alerts and retained true alerts of heart events, according to the company's website. But the company also says it's on its site and in product literature that its AI technology, Accurhythm AI, can misclassify actual abnormal heart rhythm or pauses. Oh, okay. It's super accurate, but be careful because it will fuck up. Okay? It will fuck up. It will mess up. Medtronic told Reuters that it reviewed all 16 episodes and concluded its device only missed one abnormal heart rhythm event out of 16. 1 out of 16 is not a small amount. None of these reports resulted in patient harm yet, it said. Medtronic said some of the incidents were related to problems with data display, not the AI technology. It declined to explain fully what went wrong in each incident. Oh, okay. The HHS spokesperson said the agency doesn't discuss possible or ongoing compliance matters. Wow. FDA cutbacks under Trump. Oh, yeah. And FDA was, of course, butchered under Trump because, of course, my gosh, this is the big thing. The cutbacks under Trump are a big thing. Okay. God damn. In interviews, 5 current and former FDA scientists who reviewed AI-powered medical devices told Reuters that federal regulators are now less equipped to handle the flood of new ones because, Donald Trump decided that he has to cut on any sort of regulation, that he has to save money. Was it the Dodge that butchered FDA? I wouldn't be surprised if it was Dodge or something. Of course, we need to fire federal workers. Federal workers need to be fired. Oh, by the way, Trump, I think I might make it into a separate segment altogether, but Trump is looking into ways to not just fire federal workers. It is looking into ways to make it very difficult for them to contest that firing legally. Make America great again by taking away even more workers' rights, because that is what making America great again is all about. About 4 years ago, the FDA expanded its roster of scientists who specialize in AI, particularly for reviewing medical imaging and radiology devices that use the technology. Many recruits were stationed in the division of imaging, diagnostics, and software reliability. The unit became the agency's key resource for assessing the safety of AI in medicine. One current and 2 former FDA employees told Reuters it grew to about 40 people early last year. Some senior regulators have no idea how these technologies work. One ex-employee said, "We sat closely with senior regulators and explained to them why we think this technology is safe or not safe to use in the market." This needs more regulations, for God's sake. And it needs to be a minimum of 90%. It cannot just be approved with the 80% success rate. It should not be allowed. It wasn't easy to lure top talent to government service. Recruiting computer scientists often requires persuading them to turn down higher pay in the private sector. Yeah, so not only is it very difficult to obtain specialists to become federal workers in the AI sector, Trump just decides to fire them all. Fire them all without ceremony, I guess. In their work, scientists tried to break the devices, AI models, a former employee said. Former employee. They would test out the device's algorithm in a variety of clinical situations and check whether the AI's performance deteriorated over time. They also sought to minimize hallucinations, in which AI models sometimes generate false information, FDA officials wrote in a paper published in October. But, and here's the kicker, and here's the thing. Early last year, the Trump administration began to dismantle the AI team as part of Elon Musk's... I knew it. I knew that it was Dodge. Of course it was Dodge. It's so predictable. But early this year, the Trump administration began to dismantle the AI team as part of Elon Musk's concutting campaign. The Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, about 15 out of the 40 AI scientists in the DIDSR unit were laid off or opted to go. The FDA insider said another unit that crafted policy on devices using AI, the Digital Health Center of Excellence, lost about a third of its staff of around 30. Do I have to point out the fact that it's pretty horrible that the guy who was in charge of a corporation that creates AI was just allowed to gut a federal body that actually was in charge of any sort of monitoring of AI technology and regulating AI technology? The AI guy gutted the body that will regulate his technology. Brilliant. Growth in AI medical devices. Over the past 3 decades, the FDA authorized at least 1,357 medical devices that use AI. More than half were added in the last 3 years. Andrew Nixon, the HHS spokesperson, said the FDA is applying the same rigorous standards for medical devices aided by machine learning and other AI as it would to any product. That's the problem, though. Should they do the same rigorous standards? I don't think it should be the same. I think there should be specific standards to the specific thing that you're approaching. Patient safety in the FDA's highest priority, and is at the forefront of our work. Yeah, that's exactly why this technology is being rushed out to market. God. Yeah. Patient safety is number one, which is why we decided that we have to rush this technology to market as fast as possible. Blah, 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 blah. The FDA sees tremendous promise in the digital health space, including devices enabled with AI and machine learning to help diagnose and treat a range of conditions. He said the FDA continues to recruit and develop talent with expertise in digital health, artificial intelligence, and other emerging technologies. So the FDA is overwhelmed, it's gutted, it lost talent that was able to test and really stretch the AI's capability and see if it would break. It's difficult to hire those people to begin with because they have to turn down a much higher pay in the private sector. And Trump decided to gut the department because, of course, I don't know, bureaucracy is bad. And also, you know, the technology has to hit market because money has to be made. Uh, um, mm, mm, all right. Uh, buh, 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 buh. This is horrible, actually. It is being written in such a neutral way, but this is actually horrible. Simon Pierre Dubé says, Lucy does not care about the poor investors who hold all the capital. True. I'm being very selfish, okay? I know. I am being selfish. The FDA is so excited though. It's good. It's good to see the FDA so excited about things. Since the cuts of the workload has nearly doubled for some device reviewers, said to ex-employees, if you don't have the resources, things are more likely to be missed, said a former device reviewer who left last year. Because, the team used to be 40 people, now it's 30 people, and this is how corporations operate. I know because I used to work for a corporation. If you have a work that should be done by 3 people and you have only 1 person, that 1 person is going to do the job of 3 people. Okay? And this isn't a corporation, this is like the private sector. But since it's already very difficult for people to be hired for a governmental position, and they have to accept a lower pay, and it's better to be in the private sector. They kind of, I don't know, they have a calling to ensure safety, they have a mission, but when they are flooded with extra responsibilities, I assume it does not mean that they will be receive triple the pay in my example, because that's not how that works. Then you will quit. This is why this is a former device reviewer that has left last year, because they have been overburdened with work and they said, you know what? Fuck this. I can be paid more in the private sector and I won't be dealing with this bullshit. They will be dealing with their own, they will be dealing with private sector specific bullshit, but at least they will not be dealing with this particular brand of bullshit. The FDA requires clinical trials for new drugs, but medical devices face different screening. Most AI-enabled devices coming to market aren't required to be tested on patients according to FDA rules. Instead, makers satisfy FDA rules by citing previously authorized devices that had no AI-related capabilities. What the fuck? What? This AI is safe because look at this device that did not have look at this same device that did not have the AI before. That one's safe. So this one has to be safe. What? This makes no sense. This makes absolutely no sense. And as you know, you cannot make sense out of nonsense. Oh my God. This is worse than I thought. Says Dr. Alexander Everhart, an instructor at Washington University's medical school in St. Louis, and an expert on medical device regulation. Okay. That's great. Positioning new devices as updates on existing ones is a long-established practice, but Everhart says AI brings new uncertainty to the status quo. I think FDA's traditional approach to regulating medical devices is not up to the task of ensuring AI-enabled technologies are safe and effective. You think? Oh my God, I've been saying this way up there in the article. I've been saying that way up there. Oh God. Everhart told Reuters, we are relying on manufacturers to do a good job and putting products out. I don't know what's in the place of the FDA represents meaningful guardrails. Oh. So the FDA does not really guarantee any guardrails, and they just pray that the manufacturer does a good job. Wow. I feel so much better. I feel so much better now that the FDA does not really guarantee any sort of safety or quality, and that it's all, we just have to pray to the corporations that they do a good job and keep the standard. Well, if you ever get injured, if you ever need a surgery, a procedure, you better pray that it won't be handled by an AI, because it's basically a coin toss if it'll not mess up. There's definitely a percentage probability that you might end up with a stroke, which I hope will not happen. Okay? But this is the future is now. The future is now. I guess that is all that I will say. Godspeed. Because the FDA will not help you. The FDA is gutted by Trump. Make America great again. Make America healthy again, in fact. I wonder. I want to look into it further, actually. I want to know what are the repercussions of the FDA being gutted, not just in the AI sector. Now I'm actually very fascinated by this topic, because you know what? I want to know, and I want to inform you all as to what is happening. Yeah, hold on. Consequences of reduction of the FDA. Oh, there we go. There's a whole paper on it. Isn't that cool? How old is this? I wanna see something new. May. No, that's old. That's old news. Is there anything? Oh, okay. Government budget cuts could weaken food safety. Uh-oh. There you go. You might just get poisoned by your food. Make America healthy again. Food brands may face rising costs as government budget cuts risk weakening safety enforcement. Uh-oh. Bushu. At a glance, cuts driven by zero-based budgeting can increase efficiency, but also result in layoffs. Whoa. FDA and USDA have recently seen a significant job cuts, potentially impacting food safety oversight. Who cares about what you eat? Wasn't that oversight low to begin with in the United States of America? Aren't Americans already eating poison to begin with? Who cares about regulation when it comes to food, right? Do you care what you eat? Isn't there a famous saying when it comes to food that isn't there a saying that it doesn't matter what you eat? Have you heard that saying before? It doesn't matter what you eat? That's the saying, right? That's how the saying goes, right? Hold on, maybe I orbiters. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. You may have seen the phrase zero-based budgeting in the news lately. President Donald J. Trump seems to be applying this cost-cutting model to the US government. Yeah, because, everybody knows that government is like a company. Everybody knows that a country is like a company and should be run like a company for profit, right? Everybody knows that the main role of the state is to generate profit at the expense of everything else. We all know this to be true. With the new Department of Government Efficiency DOGE having recently fired 89 workers at the Food and Drug Administration FDA and many more at the US Department of Agriculture. Let me see, how old is this article? March. This is an old article. I want to know something newer. But this is interesting. In 2026. I want to know what the consequences are now, okay? The current consequences. Maybe... No. Oh, there we go. Okay, this is more recent. This is from the end of 2025. So this feels like something that is a bit more recent. That feels a bit better. The impact of FDA workforce reductions and what it means for the food safety industry. Will you be eating poisoned food? Is this what's going to happen? "2025 has seen a significant upheaval for the FDA, which means serious change for the food manufacturing industry as well. Budget cuts and substantial workforce reductions are likely to lead to casualties in communication capabilities and directly impact inspections and oversight. It's essential to prepare accordingly to maintain a strong food safety culture throughout your operations. The first step to navigating this tumultuous period while maintaining compliance and keeping food safe is understanding how these changes affect food manufacturers. Stay ahead of the curve and discover how you can adapt to the latest in FDA transitions below." Oh boy. Breaking down the FDA workforce reduction. Potential ripple effects of the FDA workforce reduction. FDA cuts staff, fewer inspections, slower recalls, limited communications, greater manufacturer risk. Oh no. In March 2025, the Department of Health and Human Services announced it would be cutting 3,500 employees from the FDA In addition to recent budget cuts, many of these employees were support or communications staff. The loss directly impacts the FDA's capabilities to handle routine inspections, distribute notices of recalls or outbreaks, and maintain a hands-on role in food safety oversight. Who cares about food safety oversight? Again, who cares what people eat? That's not really important, is it? Has that ever been important? Has that ever been necessary? Some of these FDA workforce reduction decisions may still be in flux. The FDA has hired back some support staff since the initial layoff announcement. However, this rehiring is still only a fraction of the total staffing cuts and is unlikely to provide significant relief to those at the FDA. Oh, well, who would have known that butchering our already strained workforce would result in negative consequences? These changes are already creating ripple effects that may influence how the FDA interacts with the food industry, as well as how manufacturers should prepare to demonstrate strong food safety systems and compliance during periods of reduced oversight. Yeah, I definitely trust companies to introduce strong food safety systems because, we all know that the FDA exists for shits and giggles and that corporations can be trusted to just implement those things, right? What do these cuts mean for food safety in manufacturing? How does the number of FDA staff impact food safety? Worker availability directly correlates to the amount of manpower allocated to specific FDA duties, including inspections, communication, and more. These efforts to streamline the FDA could drastically diminish the organization's ability to intervene in food safety affairs within a timely manner, leading to consequences like shifting inspections responsibilities. FDA workforce reductions are already impacting food safety inspections. In a recent report, the Officer of Inspector General for the HHS found that the FDA has been conducting fewer inspections and is struggling to meet timelines. Despite the FDA's efforts to keep up, a lack of support staff makes it difficult to stay on top of food safety demands. Yeah, we streamline by destroying the quality of the work. That is some streamlining. The whole idea of streamlining is to maintain, is to reduce a thing as much as possible without the sacrifice of quality. The quality is supposed to remain the same while you make things simpler. That is the whole idea. You don't butcher the system. That's not called streamlining. That's just destroying what was in place. To combat this mounting challenge and navigate budget cuts, the FDA has begun to shift routine inspections over to food safety agencies at the state level. This move allows the FDA to focus on high priority inspections without allowing food safety to slip in the process. The potential hiccup in this new setup is that not every state has an existing contract with the FDA, and states that do may have different levels of funding or staffing available to fill the gaps, leading to inconsistency. So there will be states that will slip on food safety. That's going to happen 100%. What manufacturers can do. Changes in regulatory oversight mean that your team may need to add some extra food safety checkpoints in their processes to identify potential risks and help prevent contamination. Oh, well, Jesus Christ Almighty. AI is causing strokes. Your food might not be safe to eat. This is great. This is amazing. This is exactly, I guess, what Trump meant when he said that he would make America great again. Though your facility is already working hard to maintain food safety, reduced inspection frequency means facilities should not rely solely on external oversight to identify food safety threats before products reach consumers. Even with state-level agencies stepping in, inspections will likely look different than what your team is used to. Additional monitoring procedures like increased internal audits can help fill in the gaps left by fewer FDA Yeah, that definitely, that's not happening. Pro tip: you can also bring in outside food safety expertise from trusted partners like the AIB International to help you identify gaps in compliance or areas for improvement before issues arise. I guarantee you issues will arise. I can already tell you. I feel like a prophet. I feel like a genius, but I can already tell you that definitely issues will arise from this. Maybe, here's a thought. Why not leave the inspections of food safety to AI? This could be another thing that the learning models could, try their might add, right? This could be, in addition to surgeries, AI could be performing those safety things that people were fired and cannot do anymore, right? This is another ample opportunity to introduce Grok into the picture. What manufacturers can do and probably definitely will not. Okay? Ramping up your internal efforts to stay informed about current recalls and outbreaks will be essential in this new era of FDA communication, including enacting proactive monitoring and emphasizing interdepartmental communication. Consider encouraging your food safety team to prioritize regular check-ins if you haven't already. They probably haven't. Your operation must also be prepared for rapid response in the event of a food safety breach or foodborne illness outbreak. Oh, well, we're already preparing for outbreaks, right? We're already preparing for foodborne illnesses. Great. Already we're bracing for the worst. Prioritize the development and implementation of effective crisis management training so your team can react immediately if an incident occurs. And it will. An incident will definitely occur, I think. Oh boy. Between a limited staff and backlog of hazard reports, the FDA will need to rely on manufacturers to bridge the gap in response times and ensure US food safety. Good luck. Good luck and have fun with that. Slower recall and outbreak response. In addition to staffing and budget cuts at the FDA, the elimination of the National Advisory Committee on Microbiological Criteria for Foods. Oh, wow. That feels like a thing that definitely should have been eliminated, right? Make America Healthy Again. Key Federal Food Safety Advisory Committees, NACMCF and NACMPI, have been terminated. Oh, wow. Okay. Means there are fewer resources dedicated to identifying outbreak sources and responding accordingly. This advisory committee under the USDA was tasked with the study and identification of foodborne pathogens. Between a limited staff and a backlog of hazard reports, the FDA will need to rely on manufacturers to bridge the gap in response times and ensure US food safety. Good luck if you're going to rely on manufacturers to do that. I just say a lot more people are going to get poisoned in the future, and it's going to be bad. Oof. What manufacturers can do, but probably won't. While updates to the Food Safety Modernization Acts FSMA guidelines may already be changing the way manufacturers approach traceability. FDA workforce reductions create even more urgency for your team to improve traceability protocols. From building an effective recall management team to investing in technology like blockchain or Internet of Things enables devices your team can improve recall, response, and trace back efforts for faster, more effective crisis response. Supplementary traceability training can also increase your team's efficiency during an outbreak. And it's not efficiency, it's efficacy. Delays to the new approvals. Oh boy. America's screwed when it comes to health, isn't it? Delays to new product approvals. The new product applications must be carefully reviewed and considered before being approved for distribution, which can create a bottleneck during staffing shortages with FDA. Staff stretched thin. It may be difficult for the agency to respond quickly to new product applications. This means that your operations may face longer approval cycles when submitting a new product. Made worse, if your application doesn't meet FDA standards. What manufacturers can do, but probably won't. While slow product application reviews may be unavoidable, what your team can avoid is starting overdue to food and safety non-compliance. To give your product application a leg up in the approval process, develop and maintain a proactive food safety program that supports new product development and meets regulatory requirements. Place food safety at the forefront of your new product development process to ensure products meet FSMA guidelines early on in the process. Rely on the food safety experts on your team, like your PCQI, to build a product development program that supports compliance and facilitates regulatory review. Maneuvering FDA workforce reductions with expert guidance. Brilliant. So that has happened. Reduction after reduction. And I guess we will see. Let me check if there have been any outbreaks, okay? Food. Health. Outbreaks due to oh. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Outbreak investigation of Salmonella. Moringa. Well, let me see. Do not eat or serve recalled dietary supplements products with Moringa leaf powder. FDA's investigation is ongoing. Uh-oh. I wonder how many YouTubers had this as their sponsorship thing. Oh boy. All right. Since the last update on January 15, 2026, a total of 20 new illnesses have been reported, including a new outbreak strain of Salmonella Newport. As of January 29th, 2026, CDC reported a total of 65 people from 28 states that have been infected with one of the outbreak strains of Salmonella. Of the 40 people interviewed, reported eating a product containing moringa leaf powder, including 31 who reported. Great. Thank you. Thank you for the cutbacks in the workforce, Donald Trump. Thank you. 20 new illnesses have been reported since the last update on January 15th, 2026. That's just great. That's just great. I wonder how things will go moving forward. I wonder how many new illnesses will we witness moving forward. Well, be careful. Be careful out there, okay? Be careful what you eat. Be careful what you trust. Be careful what you consume, because you might be consuming poison without knowing it because the FDA has been gutted. Oh boy. Surprised nobody's commenting. Is everybody American here and shocked by the developments? Is anybody still here? Am I bringing the mood down with the whole FDA horrible poisoning of food and AI causing strokes thing? 20 new illnesses. Think about that. Think about that. 20 new illnesses. Speaking of which, because I had something here. We are scientists here, right? We're all Trump fans here, right? We're all MAGA hats here, right? This is a MAGA channel, right? Isn't it? Is this not basically a MAGA channel? What do you have against that emote? Is it because you hate Star Ocean, Greater Rain? I'm not shocked by public health outbreaks or diminishing of FDA effectiveness. I'm surprised that it's still an FDA. I know that you hate Japanese RPGs, but you don't have to extend your hate to emotes. Okay. So, as we are all MAGA members here, okay, I should start wearing my MAGA hat on stream. We're gonna talk about one of Trump's biggest successes to date, reducing prices. Okay, that's one of the Trump administration's biggest achievements, biggest claims, that the prices have been reduced more than ever before in the history of the United States. In economic speeches, Trump claims inflation victory nearly 20 times, even as prices bite. Whoa. Reuters reviewed 5 Trump speeches on the economy. Trump says inflation deflated without acknowledging pain felt by Americans. Trump repeatedly strays from economic argument, shifts to other topics. That's actually not just... He always shifts to other topics. No matter what he talks about. When he talks about Ukraine, he shifts to the 2020 election. When he talks about the economy, he shifts to... He never stays on topic. He's a demented old man. He's a demented old man, so of course he's gonna shift to other topics. That's not really strictly economy related. Republican strategists concerned he is disconnected from voters. Well, oh no. Trump disconnected from voters? How can that be? Washington's February 7th, Reuters. Donald Trump has cast himself as Republicans' chief messenger on the cost of living in an election year. Actually, Trump said once that affordability is a made-up term. He kept his campaigning on affordability, but then when he won, he said that affordability was a Democrat scam. I remember that. Do you remember when that happened? Do you remember the great journey from talking about affordability and how he's going to take care of it to saying that it's not real, it's a made-up term, and nobody cares about it? Blah, 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 blah. A Reuters review of his speeches shows a president repeatedly declaring inflation beaten while rarely acknowledging the strain many Americans say they still feel. In 5 speeches on the economy since December, Trump asserted that inflation has been beaten or was way down almost 20 times and said prices were falling almost 30 times. Assertions at odds with economic data and voters' daily experiences. Much of the remaining time was spent on grievances and other issues, including immigration, whether Somalia was a country and attacks on opponents. Oh boy. Taken together, the speeches portray a president struggling to reconcile his central claim that he has fixed the cost of living crisis, with inflation near 3% over the past year and voters' lived experience of paying more for grocery staples. The price of ground beef, for example, is up 18% since Trump took office a year ago, while ground coffee prices are up to 29%. That's not a small amount. That's a pretty big increase in price, 29% for coffee. Coffee brand coffee. Biden. Year-over-year inflation of consumer prices. COVID-19 pandemic. Trump. Republican strategists told Reuters that his mixed messaging on the top issues for voters risks creating a credibility gap for him and the Republican Party ahead of the November midterms, when control of Congress will be at stake. Opinion polls show voters are deeply unhappy with Trump's handling of the economy. Well, no shit. No shit. Oh my goodness. I don't think currently Americans are happy with Trump's handling of anything, actually, considering what's been happening with ICE, considering what's been happening with his international relations debacles. Can you name a thing that the voters are actually happy with Trump handling? I'm pretty sure his approval rating is nosediving. He can't continue to make claims that are demonstrably false, particularly at the expense of Republicans who are in competitive House district or Senate races, said Rob Godfrey, a Republican strategist. Trump must be disciplined and focused, he added. Oh my God. Republican strategists are just straight up saying our presidents should stop lying. Trump should just stop lying. Holy crap. He should, and that's a Republican strategist. Trump must stop lying. One source close to the White House said the president needed to hit an issue of affordability harder and through personal visits to critical districts. Trump said that affordability was a made-up term in a speech. Have we forgotten that? Have we forgotten that Trump said that this whole affordability thing was just made up? He needs to bring the message out because the message is not resonating. The source said, speaking on condition of anonymity to more freely discuss the issue. Kush Desai, a White House spokesman, said Trump's focus on illegal immigration in his speeches is directly connected to his argument that people in the country illegally have an adverse impact on the economy. Desai said it causes public services being overburdened, business activity disrupted by crime, housing markets flooded, and workers' wages depressed. Yeah, that is why Trump has to gut all public services by firing all public servants. That is exactly what needs to happen. Oh boy. Trump has repeatedly stressed that much work remains to clean up the economic mess. He says his Democratic predecessor Joe Biden left him. Yeah, Biden left him the war. Biden left him an economic mess. Biden left him crime. It's all Biden. Of course, it's all Biden. Even the new things that Trump has done is Biden. Even the people that he elected, that he just nominated during his first term and are still in office, that's also Biden. Trump veers off message to rail about immigration. The Reuters analysis found that Trump, when not declaring inflation beaten, devoted nearly half his speaking time to grievances and other issues. In about 5 hours of speaking time, he spent roughly 2 hours straying into about 20 topics unrelated to prices, the Reuters review found. When he veered of message, his top issues was illegal immigration, which he spent a total of about 30 to 40 minutes talking about. In the speeches, he insulted Somali Americans in Minnesota who voted against him in the 2024 election. That explains everything, okay? That one sentence just explains why he hates them so much. It's all clear now. In the speeches, he insulted Somali Americans. And in 4 speeches, he disparaged Somali-born Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. A progressive high-profile Democrat and Muslim, Omar has been a frequent Trump critic, especially over his immigration policies. Every time the President of the United States has chosen to use hateful rhetoric to talk about me and the community that I represent, my death threats skyrocket, Omar said last month, the day after a man sprayed a foul-smelling liquid on her at a town hall event. Damn. Trump also talked about men and women's sports, of course, trans issues. Of course, he's going to talk about trans people. Non-stop. Venezuela, Iran, the Islamic State militant group, Greenland, Ukraine and Russia, military recruitment, his false claim that the 2020 election was rigged, US weaponry, his exaggerated claim to have ended 8 wars, and even how much a Fox News anchor likes him. Because of course, he's gonna talk about everything because he's a demented old man. Trump's meandering worry strategist. Inflation is stopped, incomes are up, prices are down, Trump said in an Iowa speech on January 27th. Only twice in the 5 speeches did Trump acknowledge that prices are still too high, but he blamed them on Biden. Trump was elected in 2024 because of voters' unhappiness with Biden's handling of inflation, which spiked over 9% in 2022, and illegal immigration. Democrats caused prices to be too high, Trump told a rally in Pennsylvania on December 9th, but now they're coming down. In the same speech, he called them affordability. Oh yeah, in the same speech, he called the term affordability a Democratic hoax. I told you, he said that affordability was a made-up term. After a public backlash, he has ceased saying that in more recent speeches. Fuck me, imagine saying that affordability is just a made up term. Affordability is just one of those made up things like global warming, which he has been also making a crazy statements about. It's insane. Affordability is just a made up thing. There is no such thing as affordability. But I guess backlash worked and he doesn't say that anymore. In 4 of the speeches, Trump repeatedly and haphazardly switched topics, often when he is in the middle of talking about the economy, the Reuters review found. 4 Republican strategists interviewed by Reuters said Trump's meandering style, which he proudly calls the weave. Oh, the weave. Risked drowning out his core economic argument that he has brought inflation and prices down. Oh, the weave. Trump is weaving. Let him weave. That's what I'm going to say during the speeches now. I'm not going to say let him cook. I'm going to say let him weave. Oh boy. Speaking to world leaders at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland on January 21st, Trump spent the first 22 minutes on topic, then suddenly for the next 22 minutes insulted Europeans, said they would be speaking German if it wasn't for America, called NATO ungrateful, and decried the crooked media before pivoting back to the US economy. Doug High, a Republican strategist, said voters want to hear what Trump is doing to lower costs, but they have no memory of what Trump says about economic issues because of the volume of his own rhetoric. One source familiar with the White House's thinking said Trump was likely to use his State of the Union address on February 24th. Oh, I'm looking forward to that. As the kickoff for more intense domestic travel to amplify his message on affordability. Whatever. I'm not going to go back to the fact that he said affordability was a made-up thing. I'm not even going to go back to that thing. Trump does offer solutions. For many Americans, the economy still feels unforgiving. Prices remain high, even though the inflation rate has inched down since Trump took office from 3% to 2.7%. A lower inflation rate does not mean prices are decreasing, just that they are growing at a slower pace, economists stress. Uh-oh. Whoops. In the 12 months through December 2025, food costs were up over 3%, while average hourly earnings were up only 1.1%. over the year. The unemployment rate was 4.4% in December, up from 4% when Trump took office in January 2025, according to government data. In some of these speeches, Trump correctly identifies a drop in prices for a few everyday goods, including eggs and gas. The cost of eggs fell about 21% in December from a year earlier after being 60% higher during Trump's first months back in office. Gas prices are about 4% lower since January last year. But the cost of an average grocery basket has risen. The price of coffee, beef, and some fruits, among other items, has risen in the past year. Trump does offer solutions in his speeches, including his tax cuts that kicked in last month that will produce greater savings for tens of millions of families. The scrapping of taxes on tips, overtime, and social security payments, his plan to reduce mortgage interest rates, a proposal to lower housing prices, and deals with health insurance companies to reduce drug prices. Most economists expect U.S. households and the economy at large to benefit in the months ahead from the tax cuts. But But as always, there is a but. Hello, Vladimir. Every weave is a distraction from the Epstein files. Hello, Lucy. Hello. Every weave. Listen, everybody is in those files. I have come to learn. Every single person. Name me a person, and they're probably in the Epstein files. I would not be surprised. But Trump's more recent proposals are unlikely to have a significant impact of the cost of living between now and November. Some economists told Reuters one of Trump's ideas to cap credit card interest rates to 10% for a year could even backfire since it could limit access to credit for lower income families. Some economists have warned. Mike Marinell, a spokesman for National Republican Congressional Committee, which supports candidates for the House of Representatives, said Trump and Republicans were helping working families. Voters are seeing this clear contrast, and the best is yet to come. Okay. Some 35% of Americans approve of Trump's overall handling of the economy, according to a January 25th Reuters Ipsos poll, up slightly from 33% in December, but it is well below his initial 42% rating on the issue when he took office a year ago. Uh-oh. His approval is falling, nosediving, falling into the Biden trap. Oh no, Trump is becoming Biden. Trump is just becoming the second Joe Biden. What is happening? Sleepy Donald. Former economic officials in previous administrations say Trump is falling into the same trap Biden did in 2024 when confronted with persistently high inflation. Biden kept claiming the US economy was strong and urged voters to look at the other economic data. That strategy failed badly, and Democrats were punished at the polls. The officials agreed it was important for presidents to show voters they understood their economic pain, especially in an election year. We definitely talked past people on inflation, Jared Bernstein, the head of Biden's Council of Economic Advisors, said in an interview. Wow. What we typically did was to say, a new report just came out on jobs. It's very strong. And that was all true. But the fact is that there wasn't much we were able to do in terms of the price level. Well, I hope this will bite Trump in the ass and that he will suffer in midterms and lose the House. That's all that I can say about that. Trump is a demented old man. He cannot stay on topic to save his life, or maybe there's a possibility that he genuinely just runs out of things to say or forgets what he was supposed to say and just switches topics to regain, I don't know, to just remember what he was about to say and then say it. That's a distinct possibility that was the case. There you go. Brilliant. Make America great again. Prices are up. AI is causing strokes, and the control of food quality is down because Doge got at the FDA. What else are we going to discuss today? What else? What other aspects of making America great again can we do? Oh yeah, we can also always discuss ICE violence and the protests. We can always discuss that. Another brilliant element of Trump's policy during his second term. It's all going swimmingly, I would say. It's all going great. We could discuss his continuously failed attempts at ending the war. That's also a possibility for tonight. We have so much to talk about. We have so much to talk about and so little time. We've already streamed for 2 hours and we've only covered a few topics. This is crazy. I will tell you this is crazy. As I'm trying to find footing on this brand new channel and keep up with the uploads. I can do it. I feel like this channel can grow. I feel like we can do it. Are there any questions? Any thoughts on what's on the happenings of America? Any feedback from my lovely, lovely audience? If not, then I'm going to go to the toilet real quick. Or it's to say everything. Anything that comes to mind. I will be right back. Is weaving. Weaving as best as he can. Weaving his best life. Vladimir says. I mean, yeah. Just a quick reminder about the file so we can finally focus on the news and not constantly derailed into the topic ever again. I don't know if this is paranoid, but I expect somehow someday a right-wing person is going to ruin my life. I mean, it's not paranoia. Your president is actively ruining your life as you speak. Okay? Your president, who is right-wing, is actively on the job, making your paranoia a reality. I hate to be negative. It's over. I guess World of Warcraft is over now. It's over, everyone. Look, 1.1 million views, of course.
Wow, Twitter has been very upset about this recent.
There you go. It's over. But this is not for news, okay? But it's over. Oh, in Times. Tell them to raid me after this. Okay? Someone go to in Times and tell them to raid me.
So,
Yeah. Okay, what is new in the Epstein files?
Let me read through these files and see.
They was eating babies, nigga! Yes! And cracking them.
Ugh.
Yeah. Rituals. Sacrifices.
That's actually unconfirmed.
Pedophilia. The president of the United States of America right now, a pedophile. Every billionaire, politician, Hollywood superstar.
Scientist. Okay, let's not forget about the scientist. Let's not forget about the Richard Dawkins. What was his face? That guy that was accused. I keep forgetting his name. The physicist, Lawrence Krauss. Let's not forget about the Dawkinses, Lawrence Krausses.
Some athletes, pedophile.
Jesus.
A pedophile too. Racism. They was not cracking nigga kids.
Well, that's good.
But still,
Right.
they was on Epstein Island running trains on small children in front of each other and peeing inside their open wounds during a child trafficking auction.
It's disgusting.
Dog fucking. Animal cream pies.
What?
Hunting poor people for sport.
Sinister.
Bush did do 9/11. Yes. The conspiracy theorists were right. Kanye was right. Alex Jones was right. Ryan Garcia was right. Redacted information. Billionaire elites making the government remove them from the files. Israel, a lot. Donald Trump, a lot. Pedophilia.
Thank you, Vladimir, for this important piece of news. This is just depressing. Oh. George Stripehace talks about politics. I'm not sure if this counts as slop or... I genuinely don't know if this counts as slop. Maybe I'll leave this for the Lucy Has a channel. As technically speaking, this is just, you know. Alright, we've got some more news to cover. For example, you know how the FDA was butchered, how a lot of people, federal workers, were just fired, how a lot of things has gotten worse because of it, how your food quality may go down the drain, how nuclear weapons are not being overseen as they used to, apparently, and many other things. Well, Trump does not only fire people, but actually seeks to limit legal options for fired legal workers. Because as you know, if there's something that makes America great again, it is the limiting even further of workers' rights, which apparently are laughable compared to the workers' rights that Europe enjoys. Apparently in Europe, there is no such thing as just being fired for no reason. You're fired and we don't have to explain why. While in Europe, that's just something like that is not really acceptable. But in the United States, apparently it's just, okay, we don't like you, you're fired. No explanation needed. Later, federal workers would appeal their firing to a Trump-led agency under a new plan. Okay, yeah, that will definitely work. Plan builds on Trump's goal to shrink the U.S. government because that's an amazing idea. Just shrinking things for the sake of shrinking things. Inequality and supervision be damned. Washington on February 9th, Reuters. The Trump administration is trying to make it harder for fired federal employees to consent their dismissal, according to a government plan released on Monday, by limiting their right to appeal their dismissal to an independent board. Yeah, you're just going to have to appeal it to the people that fired you and achieve nothing and stay fired. The Office of Personnel Management, the federal government's HR office, proposed ending the right of fired federal employees to dispute their dismissal before the Independent Merit Systems Protection Board. According to the plan, instead fired workers would need to appeal to OPM, an office whose director reports to US President Donald Trump. So, yeah, we have judged ourselves and we have judged ourselves to be correct. We fired this person and now we are making, I guess, we're going to monitor ourselves to see if it was okay for us to fire this person. And I guess we say it was. What is this, a joke? And if the proposal is implemented, it would build on Trump's earlier effort to shrink the size of the federal government. Trump has made mass layoffs of government employees a centerpiece of his second term. At the same time, he has undermined avenues for those same workers to dispute their dismissals, including by firing members of government offices that enforce job protections for federal employees. Yeah. Reducing protection for workers. That is the real American way. The Merit Systems Protection Board, the organization listed in Monday's proposal, mediates disputes between federal workers and their employers. The board saw a spike in new cases after Trump took office for the second time. The board's caseload jumped 266% from October 1st, 2024 to September 30th, 2025, according to the government records, compared to the same period the year before. OPM's proposal would give the administration free rein to terminate huge swaths of the federal workforce without meaningful independent oversight, said Everett Kelly, president of the American Federation of Government Employees, the largest union for U.S. federal workers, which basically means that Trump can now just fire federal workers. He does not need to give a reason, and they won't be able to do anything about it because he said, oh, you have a problem with us firing you? Well, you have to take it up with us, and we will just say, oh yeah, it was fine to fire you. End of story. You cannot go to an independent body that would judge if it was, a justified firing. That would make too much sense, and that would actually risk reversing the termination of someone's employment. So we cannot have that. We have to create a body that will just reinforce the decision. Of course. The US government shed 317,000 federal employees in 2025, OPM Director Scott Cooper said late last year. Cooper told Reuters that only a fraction of those who left were fired, with a majority opting to accept a buyout or leave on their own. So basically, they were just pressured to leave, and they decided to take that. Reuters could not independently verify the accuracy of Cooper's statement. OPM will be fair and impartial. Yeah, they answer directly to Donald Trump. They will not be fair nor impartial. I don't believe that for a second. When handling complaints from fired federal employees, said McLaurin Pinover, a spokeswoman for the office, the goal is to give the workers timely correction when errors occur, she said, adding that agencies should be able to restructure responsibly and fairly, which is not going to happen under this system. Definitely not. There you go. Trump wants to fire people, got very important governmental jobs, oversight, and many other things. And he wants to not allow people any recourse. Because, again, make America great again by taking people's rights away. Because that is limiting the rights of U.S. federal workers. Limiting workers' rights. That is what actually stands at the foundation of the American dream, I suppose. Let's see. Let's actually do a little bit of a thing. Let's do a little bit of an experiment since we're here. U.S. worker rights compared to Europe workers' rights. I actually want to know. I want to know. Is there a comparison? Oh, there's somebody. When I hear a thing on my phone, I assume that maybe my doctor has decided to talk to me, finally. So I'm checking it. Okay. Let's see. Nope. Nope. That's not happening. Okay, comparison US worker rights and Poland workers. I want to know how Poland compares to the US. Not costs. I guess I cannot find this. The earliest thing was from 2023, and that's like. Oh, okay. Let's go to core. As a rule, American workers compared to Europeans are totally unprotected. Only 15% of the American workforce is unionized. The rest is left at the mercy of the employer's whim. They can be dismissed at any time. They may have only a week's paid vacation and no sick pay at all. If dismissed, unless you are at the upper echelons of a company, there is no severance pay. The only resource is unemployment office. Jesus Christ almighty. The United States is not good when it comes to its worker protection, is it? Eight countries with the best labor and employment laws. Let's see. How old is this? This is pretty old as well. Norway. Number 1, Norway. Number 2 is Denmark. Number 2 is Sweden, Canada, Netherlands, Germany, France, and Finland. It's all better than the US. The US is apparently, I don't know, the utopian countries. Hello, one Dova. I think it's the first time I'm seeing you here. Let's see where the United States stands. Is this your first time watching this stream? 100 countries. Labor Rights Index. Oh, hello. How did you find this stream? Let's go to the index of 2026 and see how it... Would you like me to introduce myself? Discord announce. Oh, wait. Discord announce on which server? My server or President Sunday's one? Because I usually do my announcement only on those two. Um, 2044. I went 2020. Worker rights collapse across the world. That's President Sunday. Hello, welcome. So you know me, right? Or do you need an introduction or who I am and what I do? Would you like a short introduction as I try to grow this channel from a micro status to a good status? Do you know Lucy Haza? The greatest Polish streamer of all time. I cannot find many things on, let's see, 2024. Intro, please. Okay, so I am Lucy Haza, the biggest Polish Jewish trans streamer. Political. Okay, there are probably bigger Polish trans streamers that are not political, but I'm the biggest political one. On this particular channel, I cover the news and politics and war, and I'm going to have some interviews incoming. I'm going to talk about that in a moment. So this is this channel. Lucy has a network. I do coverage of daily news, of daily changes in the war in Ukraine, and many other things related to politics and news. On the Lucy Haza channel, which is my kind of main channel, it has the biggest amount of subscribers. I delegated that to games, art, languages, and slop content. That's the Lucy Haza channel. And on my third channel, because I also have a third channel, it's called Lucy Haza Films. I go to Ukraine. I do reporting in Ukraine, a form of journalism, and I interview families about the situation of children. I also do interviews with organizations. So it's all about the lives of children in Ukraine during the war. It's all about the kidnapped children who are being taken by the Russian Federation and Russified. It's all about the children that live in the occupied territories by the Russian Federation that are rescued from those territories. And all the topics that come with those broader subjects. I conduct the interviews. I write articles based on those interviews that are published in a magazine that I cooperate with, as well as I create edited interviews and documentary type material, which you can watch on that third channel. And I'm trying to grow all these 3 channels. You're not worthy? You should go to that channel and subscribe. Also, I have a page. So if you're interested in at all at supporting my journalisms, and me going back on HRT because I've been having a tough spot, then you can come to my lucyhaza.org/live page. So this is the channel for the films. All right, so this is it. There is a bunch of work to do. There's not much time, and I'm also working to restructure a lot of different things. So thank you for being here, and I also hope to see you more. And I also hope that you can recommend. I hopefully very much hope that you will like this experience and recommend this channel to your friends, family, and colleagues, and your spouse, and your pet, or pets if you have more than one pet. This is the thing. Let's go back to the top 10. Top 100 countries with best worker protections. Yes, thank you very much. Today's a little bit of a slow stream, but I guess I took on a tough task of trying to separate things into 3 channels and trying to grow the 3 channels. That is a Herculean task. But I'm the strongest person in the world, so as you know. Chart the global state of workers' rights. This is from the end of 2025. So, red is no guarantee of rights. The United States is red. No guarantee of worker rights in the United States. Poland has better worker right. Poland is actually orange, regular, whatever regular means. Ukraine also. Well, how is Ukraine? Ukraine also has no guaranteed worker rights. And Russia and Belarus. Yellow is repeated, sporadic. Oh God, no guarantee of rights due to breakdown of law. Oh no, systematic. Red is systematic. Darker red is no guarantee of rights. So I guess the US is systematic. I have to check what that means. There has to be some explanation of this map, right? I don't know what it's this 4th violations of rights system. Okay, now I understand. It's the violation of rights. So in Poland it's regular. Okay, in Poland it's regular violations of workers' rights, and in the US it's systematic. Not good. US pauses immigrant visa. Oh, related. Oh, refugees hotspots around the world. It's very interesting. Let's see. However, violations of workers' rights are not confined to the global south. The ITUC report notes that systemic violations also occur in high-income countries like the United States and the United Kingdom, the English-speaking countries. In fact, the land of the free ranked worse than its southern neighbor Mexico in terms of labor rights protections. Ouch. The global picture is alarming. In 2025, 87% of countries violated workers' right to strike, a sharp rise from the 63% in 2014. The report also reveals that workers were subjected to violence in 40 countries and trade unionists were murdered in 5 countries this year. These were Cameroon, Colombia, Guatemala, Peru, and South Africa. Oh, the United States is pretty bad. I know that the United States is pretty bad when it comes to workers' rights. I am aware that a person can be pretty much fired without any explanation, without any ceremony, and get out of here. It's like the joke from the old cartoon, The Jetsons, where the boss would just come in and just shout, "Jetson, you're fired," because he was in a bad mood, and then he was just, "Okay, Jetson, you're no longer fired." I grew up in Poland on the Jetsons, okay? And I thought that was normal. I thought that was me living in Poland, watching American cartoons. I thought it was normal for your boss to be like, "Oh my God, I stubbed my toe. You're fired." Okay? I'm in a bad mood now. You're fired and your livelihood is gone. The red states are the worst, obviously, but yeah, blue states would just do those things too. The red states would also, I mean, the red states would probably differ when it comes to the reasons why you'd be fired. Like, I assume there's more firing due to being trans in the red states. If you're a trans person in a red state, then it's probably going to be tougher for you to find and keep employment, I assume. We're doing a very big United States thing today. We're talking about workers' rights. We're talking about... So far, we've covered a lot of different subjects, such as AI causing people strokes because AI messes up surgeries. We have talked about the FDA being gutted and how that led to... How that will definitely... Well, no, it already led to outbreak of 20 new diseases, food-related diseases. So that's a thing. And also, we've talked about how Donald Trump wants to limit the recourse that the fired federal workers can take. Now, federal workers will have to complain about their termination of employment to a group that is answering directly to Donald Trump. That's great, right? You can definitely depend on such a group to be on top of things. You can definitely depend. So that's the United States. Do we have anything else on the United States? I want to know. Oh yeah, we also talked about how Trump absolutely lies about prices going down. But if you're an American citizen, then you know that from personal experience. If you're a US citizen, then I don't have to tell you that the prices are going up. Probably. You probably just live that reality. Oh, bam. Russia Lavrov says sees no bright future for economic ties with the United States. Do you see that? I'm so sad. You know who Lavrov is, right? The foreign affairs guy. Oh, I have reached article limit, I guess, with Reuters. Well, I guess we're not reading Reuters anymore. Guess we're done with Reuters for the day. There was a thing that I wanted to talk about. Oh, yeah. Damn, even Russia doesn't like us. I mean, Russia has not liked the United States before, especially under Biden when he actually supported Ukraine a little bit. Then that was the height of... Oh, yeah, there is a thing that we have to watch, actually, before I go to... Yeah, there is a... Russia Media Monitor. Let's go to the war news because there's been some funny developments with Elon Musk. The Russian media has been raging against Elon Musk. Vladimir Solovyov is beside himself over Starlink because there's been a whole argument between the Polish Minister of Foreign Affairs and Elon Musk about Russia using Starlink, and apparently SpaceX has done something to cut off Russians from being able to use Starlink, and the Russian propagandists are furious. They are super angry. And they are apparently threatening to wage war against Elon Musk. Russia will wage war against Elon Musk. Good morning, dear friends. With great interest, I'm reading about all this hysteria.
Я с интересом читаю истерику, которая вчера началась у наших.
That started yesterday. I wonder if this is the thing about how Russia lost its... Apparently, it actually really affected Russia's effectiveness on the field, effectiveness of their strikes and many other things that they relied on Starlink for, which the fact that Russia was able to rely on Starlink to begin with is ridiculous to me, but I guess better late than never.
Около
On our military adjacent channels
каналов от того, о чем,
regarding something that we've been warning about.
мы давно предупреждали, не публично и
Albeit not publicly. We've been saying this should be dealt with.
говорили, что этим надо заниматься.
What, Elon Musk? In reality, our country is working on this.
На самом деле в стране этим занимаются, просто не все вещи
But not everything works by waving a magic wand. Even for Russia.
получаются по мановению волшебной палочки.
For a while, we've been managing to buy it.
Некоторое время удалось нам
By shady third-party means, they were able to buy Starlinks and use them at the front line.
себе купить.
When we were doing it by utilizing shady methods. There you go. He said it. He said it outright. He said it openly. Russia was utilizing shady methods to buy Starlink and use it at the front line.
Когда мы действовали, используя серые схемы
To buy Starlink access.
по приобретению Starlink,
It's pretty pathetic that Russia has no real methods of communication, that it has to rely on shady methods to acquire Starlink. Think about it. Russia is supposed to be a world power. Russia is supposed to be one of the big players, one of the big countries. Okay? It wants to rebuild an empire, but it needs to employ shady methods to buy Starlink access. It's one of the most pathetic things, I think.
на фронте наших
At some point in time on the front,
в какой-то момент времени на ряде направлений было
it is big geographically, but when it comes to its actual power, Russia is slipping. The quantity of our Starlinks
кратно больше, чем у украинцев.
exceeded the Ukrainian ones many times over. I don't believe that, actually. Okay, sure. I don't believe that for a second.
Так что надо четко
We should clearly understand
понимать, что мы
that we're
воюем
fighting not only against a NATO bloc,
не
or
только
also fighting against Elon Musk, I guess.
с блоком НАТО, не только с нацистской
Not only against Nazi Ukraine, oh boy,
Украиной, но и с рядом корпораций.
but also against a number of corporations, among them SpaceX, I guess.
Среди которых находится
Russia's fighting against everybody and everything,
Palantir,
including Palantir and X. They're fighting against Twitter, I guess.
среди
Because X is Twitter.
которых находится X, а при этом Маск
Quite obviously, Musk is acting this way
очевидно реализует свой
due to this complex as an unrecognized genius.
комплекс непризнанного гения, потому что когда-то в начале
Because at one point in the beginning of this century,
века он приезжал в Россию, встречался
he traveled to Russia
с людьми, занимающимися
and met with people involved in the space industry.
космосом, к нему отнеслись как
He was treated as a crazy man, not worth the time. Ah, yes, he was humbled by all the real geniuses in Russia. I see. That's why Elon Musk is acting this way, because he went to Russia where all the real geniuses reside, and he was humbled. I see how it is.
к
Of course.
сумасшедшему, на которого не надо тратить время. Общались с ним крайне
Thank you for being here. I hope to see you again. He was treated with extreme disdain
пренебрежительно, и вот этот комплекс у него
and still carries this complex.
остался. Поэтому Илон Маск
That's why Elon Musk is writing.
важно
That's why Elon Musk has developed this rabid Russophobia, because he was humbled by the Russian geniuses of our age. Important to register your Starlink terminal
зарегистрировать ваши терминалы Starlink на
if in Ukraine.
Украине. Как-то очень любопытно, что
I saw this actually. I wonder.
произошло
It's very curious that this happened at this point in time.
именно сейчас. В войсках отнеслись
Naturally, this didn't bring any joy to the troops.
к этому, естественно, без всякой радости. Есть
There's an understanding that this was very convenient.
понимание, что да, это было очень удобно, но
But you know, we were waging war before this too. Yeah, but you've built a dependence on Starlink, so it doesn't matter if you waged war before. What matters is that a lot of your operations, a lot of the accuracy of your operations has grown a big dependence on Starlink, and that has been cut off. So it's like the past doesn't matter. What matters is the present and what you've established dependency on, what technology you're dependent on now.
знаете, и до этого воевали, и
Quite successfully. Is that so? Well, I would say that with mixed results,
воевали достаточно успешно.
if I were to be generous. And we'll be able to do it now as well. With what? What is your alternative to Starlink? What is Russia's alternative to the technology that it had lost access to? Exactly.
Сейчас тоже решим, есть ли у нас альтернатива.
Do we have an alternative? Oh, that's a good question. That is an excellent question, and I would like to hear an answer.
Конечно, альтернативы такие.
Yes, of course we have alternatives. What are they, and why have you not been using them till now?
Есть вопрос удобства.
But it's an issue of convenience. Yeah, so you don't have alternatives, in other words.
Непосредственно наша альтернатива.
Theoretically, our own alternative
Судя по всему. Ну, теоретически.
was supposed to fully start working in the autumn. Oh, yeah, but it's Russian technology, so of course it won't. Technically speaking, we should have had a great alternative, but because we're Russia and our technology sucks, we don't, and it doesn't even work. Of course.
Она должна была заработать с осени, но я
But I
думаю,
think that everything will be intensified now. Okay.
что сейчас все будет усилено.
Of course, we should be aware there are certain efforts
Есть, конечно, определенные усилия, и надо понимать, что они существуют
by our Chinese
у
comrades.
китайских товарищей.
Comrades.
Поэтому после
Therefore, after conducting relevant negotiations,
проведения
we will buy technology from them because we cannot be asked to develop technologies on our own because of sanctions and we suck in general.
соответствующих переговоров можно достаточно,
We can at least partially,
ну, по крайней мере, частично
utilize some functions that the others have.
какие-то функции использовать того, что есть у
World power. Russia is such a world power that maybe possibly it will be allowed to partially utilize the things that others have.
других, пока наши не готовы.
While our own are not yet ready because again, it's Russia, so the technology might be a bit faulty, as is a Russian tradition.
И Starlink — это один
Starlink is one of three methods of communication.
из 3 видов связи. Просто самый
It just happens to be the most convenient, and yeah, it just happens to be better than anything that Russia has at its disposal. Actually, it just so happens that Russia sucks a little bit.
А так,
Otherwise, there's a lot of other stuff. Okay, what's the other stuff?
есть, это неприятно,
It's unpleasant, but it was to be expected.
но это ожидаемо. Поэтому самое важное, что не
Most importantly,
потеряно управление
our ability to control the troops was not impacted. Yes, it was. It impacted it very much impacted the precise nature of your strikes, for one. It impeded the precision of your operations.
вместе войсками. А для Илона Маска, в
For
частности,
Elon Musk, in particular, this will cause him to lose
это приведет к довольно существенной потере
a significant amount of money
денег, потому
Sure.
что мы же все оплачивали.
because we were paying for all this.
Ну, теперь
Now there will be fewer payments. Oh no.
соответственно, оплаты будут меньше. Да, ну,
More than that. Just how many Starlinks did Russia buy? How much? Just I would actually like to know the exact number. Okay. How much exactly is Elon Musk going to lose over this?
тем более, несколько дней, как вы слышали, я вам кричу. А
For a few years, I've been yelling about space. You've been yelling about many things, to be fair.
космосе, я считаю, что это задачи, которые необходимо решать.
I think that these issues should be dealt with.
Не путем
You should nuclear bomb the Elon Musk satellite,
вот такого, знаете,
not by repeating the mantras everyone is saying.
мантры произносят все.
Are you okay?
Давайте скажем прямо.
Let's say directly.
Великая
The
советская
great Soviet space program
космическая программа, ну,
is an achievement of our grandparents
это достижение наших дедов, а не их
and not their grandchildren.
внуков.
So the USSR used to be great and Russia sucks. Thank you for this. Thank you for informing us.
Необходимо
Right
сейчас
now, we should step out
уже выйти из удобной растоптанной обуви
of the comfortable worn-in shoes of Sergei Korolev
Королева и
and to try to create something of our own.
попытаться все-таки сделать
I don't
что-то
think you have the means to do so, to be quite blunt. I don't think you have the capital. I don't think you have the intellectual capital. I don't think you I don't think you can, even if you wanted to.
свое. Хотя, конечно, вначале
In the
будет
beginning,
неудобно,
it will be certainly inconvenient and difficult.
непросто. Но
But what is most important is for this not to cause
самое важное, чтобы это не
negative dynamics on the battlefield. I mean, if you will take some of the budget that would go to the military and divert it to some space programs, then it will create negative dynamics on the battlefield, undoubtedly. If you will try to suddenly try to develop some new technology in the middle of all this.
привело к негативной динамике на поле боя. Сейчас надо сделать
Now we should come to a conclusion
вывод, что ни одна иностранная
that not a single foreign technology
технология, которую мы думаем,
that we
можем
think we can smuggle through
в сером или в любом другом виде протащить,
by shady means or any other means
использовать на линии фронта, не сработает.
to use on the front line
Можно
will
рассчитывать ту тащить, использовать на линии фронта, не сработает.
to use on the front line will not work. I mean Starlink doesn't work.
Можно рассчитывать
We can count only on ourselves, true.
только на себя.
And Russia's, oh gosh, the track record.
Илон Маск,
Elon Musk is our enemy.
враг. Корпорация
Corporation X is our enemy. Wait, Twitter? Twitter is your what? You mean SpaceX?
X, враг.
Corporation X.
Палантир,
Palantir is our enemy.
враг.
NATO countries are our enemies.
Страны НАТО, враг.
Everyone's Russia's enemy.
Рассчитывать
We should count only on ourselves.
только
And Russia, and North Korea, and Iran. But apart from those, we're definitely only counting on ourselves. We're definitely not counting on everybody, on anybody that wants to help. Okay? Russia definitely is fighting this war on its own without any assistance, resources, or manpower whatsoever from any other country, right?
только на себя.
Yeah, you're only counting on yourselves. You're so self-efficient. Self-efficient, self-sufficient, self-serving.
Не стоит
Let's not resort to wishful thinking about space.
выдавать желаемое за действительность про космос. Все
Everyone understands that it's currently
отлично
impossible
понимают, что сегодня невозможно достичь
to
желаемого
achieve the desired results and conditional parity
результата. Условия приоритета совсем те, как
the way it was in the USSR.
это было в СССР.
Yeah, Russia sucks. Writes Ilya Luchinin.
Илья Лучинин. А откуда вы что
How do you know anything about it? I mean, how do you know anything about it, Solovyov?
тут об этом знаете?
Anyway, stop this panic and keep calmly working.
Так вот.
Ага.
Поэтому панику отставить, спокойно работать. Вообще-то
Let's just cope. Let's just cope and cope and cope. Let's look at what's happening in more detail.
посмотрим, что происходит, так чуть более подробно. Мы
In reality, we still keep acting like a boxer
же до сих пор на самом деле ведем себя как боксер,
who was told to go ahead and fight,
которому сказали давай,
but keep holding his right hand behind his back.
но
I mean, I know boxers that won with one broken hand pretty major fights, so it's not an excuse. Okay? Top tier boxers win with one hand, even if the other is broken, literally.
почему-то только правую руку
At all times,
за
for
спиной
some
держи
reason.
все время. Мы же не используем наши
We don't take advantage of our superiority. Oh, God. Yeah, of course. If only Russia started taking advantage of its superiority, not only would it crush Ukraine by now, would it have crushed Ukraine by now, but it also would have developed the best weapons, the best space program. Yeah, if only Russia could just decide to take advantage of that superiority that it has. You're right.
преимущества. Мы не используем наши
We don't use our traditional methods,
традиционные методы, умения, знания.
our skills and knowledge. What are your traditional methods? What?
Мы не воюем так, как
We
нас
aren't fighting the way we were conditioned. Oh my god. If only Russia would embrace its superiority, it would all be over.
по крайней мере, готовили к тому, что
To
наша
anticipate the way our army will fight.
армия должна и будет воевать. Наша техника легко
Our equipment can easily get through.
проходит и готова к
You're having shortages in heavy weaponry, actually, and is ready to go through contaminated regions.
прохождению через зараженные регионы. Наносятся
Strikes are conducted with tactical nuclear weapons. What?
удары тактическим ядерным оружием, прокладываются, и туда устремляется.
Making way for us, and then we head there.
Мы же так не воюем.
But we don't fight this way. Yeah, it's nuclear taboo. There's this little thing called the nuclear taboo, nuclear deterrence, and the real world. Okay, the world of your nuclear fantasy does not exist. The USSR has never used nuclear weapons in combat. What do you mean? The way we were conditioned. Russians are not conditioned to use nuclear weapons. This is just your fantasy.
Мы же, обладая самым
Well, we possess the most powerful arsenal
мощным арсеналом
of
тактических
tactical nuclear weapons. Does Russia possess the most powerful arsenal of tactical nuclear weapons? Vladimir says, listen, the only thing that you should remember and keep reminding yourself, T-90 is the best tank. True. The tank to rule them all. Does Russia have the biggest arsenal of tactical nuclear weapons? Oh, damn, it's true. Yes, Russia possesses the world's largest arsenal of tactical non-strategic nuclear weapons. Estimates indicate Russia holds approximately 1,500 to nearly 2,000 tactical warheads, which is significantly more than the United States. Oh, damn. Well, damn.
ядерное оружие, делаем вид, что его нет.
We pretend that we don't have it. Yeah, because nuclear deterrence, once again, is a thing.
Мы все время так сурово
We keep sternly furrowing our brows,
но мы же его не используем.
but we aren't using it. Yeah, no country. Nuclear weapons have only been used once. I'm not sure if you're aware of that history, Mr. Solovyov. I don't think you are really aware of a thing called the nuclear taboo.
Мы можем теперь все.
Now we can do anything, really, and no, you cannot. You cannot do anything. The one time that you actually seriously threatened to use nukes, China sternly wagged its finger and you backtracked and you decided not to.
Вот просто реально все.
You cannot do anything. Not a single treaty is in place now
Больше нет ни одного договора, который хоть как-то что-то ограничит.
that limited anything in some way
В вопросах ядерного оружия.
pertaining to nuclear weapons. Yeah, use it. Use them. See what happens. Use the tactical nukes. See what happens. It will not end well for Russia. I will say that. If it actually decides to use nuclear weapons, it will never end well for Russia. And everyone that's not Vladimir Solovyov understands this.
Все. 72
Anything that existed since 1972 is now gone.
года больше никого нет. Все.
This is it. The gloves are off. No, they're not. They're absolutely not.
Перчатки сброшены.
A
Пошли
knockdown, drag out fight is on. If you say so.
Месилова. А если пошел Месилову,
And if there is a brawl,
то, значит, бей первым.
then it's better to strike first. Yeah, do a first strike. Go on. Try it.
Плюс мы не используем
Also, we aren't using the
методы,
traditional methods
которые Совет
that the Soviet Union brilliantly used. Yeah, let's go to old, outdated methods. Let's go. What were the tactics that the Soviet Union brilliantly used?
Союз использовал блестящую
The methods of Pavel Sudoplatov.
судоплатовские. Почему до сих пор
At this point, for our every general
За каждого нашего убитого
that is killed far away from the front line,
далеко от линии фронта генерала не убит.
why aren't 5 Ukrainian generals killed in response? Because Russia does not have the means to do it? I don't know what to tell you. Like, what are you asking?
Это 5 украинских.
Yeah, why aren't 50 Ukrainian generals being killed while we're at it? For a single Russian general, why isn't every single Ukrainian general killed in response? What are you even asking? What do you want?
Почему об этом просто
If they're being liquidated this way,
есть такие факты ликвидации?
why isn't this info disseminated all over the place?
Нет информации на каждом.
Ukrainian people should be afraid. I mean, Russia is doing its best to terrorize Ukrainian people, okay? Just fuck off.
Хохлы должны бояться.
They should understand that there isn't
Они должны
a single
понимать, что
spot
нет
on this
такой-
planet where they can hide. Yeah, Russia really wants peace, doesn't it? Yeah, I can really feel the spirit of wanting to negotiate a real peace.
точки на земле, где они могут скрыться. Все.
All of them.
Если мы отработаем,
If we strike the Yavorivsky military training ground
кроме Яворского полигона, мы
and the bridges over the Dnipro River
отработаем тактическим ядерным оружием по мостам через Днепр,
with tactical nuclear weapon, this is just fantasy, okay? This is just some weird fetish-fueled fantasy. This will never happen. This will not happen. The nuclear taboo is in place for a reason. The only people that talk about things like that are pundits for their domestic audiences to, I don't know, to jerk off to.
Днепр. Тактическим ядерным оружием мы
We clear our way with tactical nuclear
просто
weapons
проложим дорогу, вот куда нам надо. Оно достаточно
to get wherever we need to go.
быстро там эффект заражения проходит.
Contamination will clear out quite quickly. Yeah, sure. As it is well known that the fallout after a nuclear strike just, clears out within days, right? What? Yeah, of course. When there's a nuclear disaster, we all know that the contamination just clears out, right? It just dissipates into the air.
Все.
What the fuck?
Ни одна
And
иностранная
that's it.
сволочь
Not one foreign dirtbag will even contemplate
даже не подумает о том, чтобы отправлять
sending their troops to
свои
Ukraine.
войска на
I mean,
Украину.
that is true. Nobody wants to send troops to Ukraine, which I am very disappointed with, but it is what it is. Everybody's afraid of nuclear escalation, I guess.
Ой, нас кто-то...
Oi, some will not understand that. What? That's not the argument.
Будешь сильным, тебя все
If
поймут.
you're strong, everyone will understand you.
Ой, тебя
Oi, we will be condemned.
судят. Ну, смотрите.
Well, look.
Ну, Трамп теперь
Trump needs to pick up the phone and call Musk.
надо снять трубку.
Oh, yeah, tell him something, okay? Trump needs to tell Musk that he needs to sell us Starlink again. What the fuck?
Позвонить Маску. У них же какое-то время
At some point in time, their relations went bad,
отношения стали плохие.
but now they're good.
Ну, и ты
He should calmly explain, come back to your senses.
спокойно объясни, что ты в чувство приди.
Don't cut Starlink just to the Russians.
Ты не только русским, ты вообще полностью отруби Старлинг.
Cut it off completely. Yeah, sure. They cannot do that. Like Poland buys a significant amount of Starlinks for Ukraine. So what? Would Elon Musk just break his contract and deactivate all the Starlinks bought by Poland? Think of it. Think on it.
Полностью отруби. Позвонить этому парню
He should call this guy from Palantir and say,
из Палантира и сказать, а ты вообще
are you fighting your own war?
свою войну ведешь? Если ты ведешь свою войну,
If you're fighting your own war,
то я не
I guarantee nothing.
гарантирую. То есть, например, если мы...
For example, what will happen if we conduct
Ну, вот
strikes
что будет, если мы сейчас нанесем удары по заводам производства?
against the factories that manufacture Starlink? Yeah, Russia will totally do that. Yeah, of course.
Производящими Starlink.
Do it. See what happens. Why not try it?
А если мы нанесем
What if we conduct a strike in a space orbit? Do it. Yeah, I'm waiting for Russia to do it. I'm just waiting for Russia to attack an American company.
удар на
I'm waiting.
космической орбите,
Yeah, of course.
он же не избирательный.
It won't be a selective strike.
Поэтому, конечно, наши спутники
Our own satellites will burn up, but the heck with them.
тоже погорят, да и хрен с ними.
Therefore, it's a simple question.
Поэтому вопрос простой.
Now, this is a master fantasizer. Now, this is a person with the ultimate imagination. Nobody has as big of an imagination as Mr. Solovyov.
Илон Маск воюет с Россией в каком качестве? Под
Is he doing it under the American umbrella?
американским зонтиком? Или в своем личном
Or what?
качестве? Под американским зонтиком?
Or is he, or in his own personal
Или в
capacity?
своем личном качестве? Если в своем личном
If he's doing it in his own personal capacity,
качестве, значит, мы можем воевать и против Илона Маска, и всех
then we can fight against Elon Musk. No, you cannot. He's still basically under the umbrella of America. That's not how that works, okay? That is definitely not how that works.
структур.
And all of his companies, that's not how that works. It's still an American company. Try it and see what happens when you do. I cannot wait.
Точно так же структура
The same way,
Палантира.
we can fight against all of Palantir's companies.
Я регулярно,
When I
когда
regularly go to the front lines,
отправляюсь за
I contact my friends, many of whom
я своим друзьям,
are
многие,
already occupying very senior positions.
которые сейчас уже очень на высоких должностях,
And I ask them what I can bring.
я спрашиваю, что привезти. И
A traditional response
традиционный ответ одного из блестящих русских полководцев
of one of our brilliant Russian commanders, brilliant commanders.
это тактическое ядерное.
Tactical nuclear weapons, of course. Yeah, everybody. This feels so sad. The fact that Russia does not feel confident that it can win with regular means. The fact that the pundits are so desperate about the nukes just speaks just how much Russia fails when it comes to conventional means, which I'm not sure if Mr. Solovyev realizes just how much pathetic it makes Russia look.
Хватит.
Enough already.
Ну просто реально.
No, really,
хватит.
enough already.
Давайте.
It's whining and crying. Let's get serious. Are you saying that Russia has not been serious all this time? You're just being kidding around?
Серьезно. И глупейшее
As for Zelensky's dumbest statement,
заявление Зеленского, да сам факт, если мы
the very fact of freezing everything
замахиваемся по линии
across the contact line
сопротивления, это уже уступка с
is
нашей
already a concession from our side.
стороны, а нам не нужны
We don't need any concessions from that side.
уступки с этой стороны. Зеленский никак
Zelensky still cannot understand.
не может понять. Мы не
We
торгуем,
are not bargaining.
мы все лишь требуем
We're demanding the fulfillment of our conditions.
выполнения тех условий, которые мы
Yeah,
поставили.
that is actually the stance of Russia. And the fact is, the sad part is that Trump actually facilitates this attitude from Russia. This part is true. This part is very true that Russia does not want to negotiate peace. Russia wants to enforce a surrender, and Trump is working in a way that enables Russia to do it. Those are two sad realities of this situation. Until Russia is pressured into actually negotiating, it will not negotiate. It will try to enforce its demands. This part is definitely real. Vladimir says, how nuts is Russian TV on the scale of nutcases? Put your nuts in the chat. It's really out there, I must say. But that is actually the attitude that Russia has when it comes to this war and how it should end. We don't care about all this hysteria and all these worries. We should move to another level of escalation. It seems like Russia can just escalate endlessly and the West will do nothing because the West is terrified of escalation.
Перевести уровень эскалации на совершенно другой уровень. Поднять уровень эскалации.
We have to raise the level of escalation.
Почему Рют
Why was Ruth able to come to Ukraine at all?
вообще смог приехать на Украину? Я считаю, что
I've said it 100 times. All 5 entry points
точки входа, я 100 раз говорил, их 5.
should be struck with nuclear weapons.
Ну, то все. По ним надо нанести удар
And that's it.
ядерным оружием. Чтобы местность была
This way that terrain will be contaminated.
зараженной. Хватит.
It's enough.
Вот просто реально.
No,
хватит.
really, it's enough.
И я 100 раз говорил.
I've said it 100 times. I actually said it 100 times. I've counted. I've counted all the times that I've said it.
Вот просто. Я 100
People
раз
argued with me, but I'm still saying it now. Yeah, I'm still being insane.
говорил. Со мной ругались.
People argued with me, but I'm still saying it now.
Я сейчас говорю. Киев
We can take Kyiv in 3 days. Do it. Do it then. Jesus Christ.
взять за 3 дня. Это будет колоссальной
It will be colossally cruel.
штуки. Не оставляющие
Civilians won't stand a chance.
никаких шансов мирному населению. От Киева
Only ruins will remain of Kyiv. Yeah, again, there was one time early in the invasion when Russia actually did a serious threat and China stepped in immediately and said, no, you're not doing that. You're definitely not using nukes. And Russia just, okay.
Но лучше пусть руины
I'd
будут
prefer Kyiv and not Belgorod to lie in ruins.
для меня от Киева, чем от Белгорода. Для меня пусть будут
As for me, I want Kyiv and not Donetsk to lie in ruins.
руины Киева, а не Донецка. Отстроим заново,
If the need be, we will rebuild it anew.
если понадобится. Но в войне надо побеждать.
We have to win this war. Oh wow, Russia is so ready for peace that it's incredible. It is just incredible how much Russia really wants peace and how much rhetoric is being utilized to that effect.
Вот, чтобы армия
For our army not to
не
perish.
гибла,
Wait, is your army in danger of perishing? Is that how bad the situation is when it comes to conventional warfare? If you don't use nukes, your army will perish?
обществу гражданскому,
Our civil society acting as its lawfully wedded wife
выступающему в данном случае в роли законной супруги, не надо
shouldn't hold our army's hands.
за руки армию держать. И когда
When Vasil Dmitrievich Vakarov is on my program,
вот Василий Дмитриевич Вакаров у меня на передаче, вот начинает
he starts howling and wailing like Yaroslavna.
завывание такое, плач Ярославное. Ой,
Oh, the poorest residents of Kyiv.
бедные киевляне, ой, как их жалко.
Oh, I feel so bad for them.
Срут в окно.
They defecate out of their way. What the fuck? What? I've been in Kyiv many times, and what the fuck?
Ой, они такие.
I'm sorry, if there's a place that has shortages of toilets, it's Russia, not Ukraine.
Меня охватывает
I get overcome with the feeling of deep hatred.
чувство глубокой и такой,
Wow. Okay, what else is new?
знаете, серьезной системной
Severe systemic hatred. Again, what else is new?
ненависти. Когда здесь
A number of bloggers here are starting to tell me,
ряд
cut it out with the hate.
блогеров начинают мне говорить, ой,
Everything Solovyov said will be used
все, что сказал Соловьев, будет использовано как
as
пропаганда.
propaganda against us. It's not really propaganda. You say these things. How can it be used as propaganda against you? This is just repeating what you say. I'm not altering this in any way. It's you. This is all you.
Пропаганда против нас. Ой! Просто удивительный рядом.
Amazing things are all around us.
Удивительный рядом. Кстати, что было понятно, вот вообще,
The problem of Starlink for us is very exaggerated. Is it though? Considering that the fell in performance, is
проблема
it though?
Старлинка для нас довольно сильно преувеличена. Поэтому тоже спокойнее все.
Just calm down. We need to calm down. We need to cope more.
Я вам так скажу.
Let me put it to you this way. Okay, do it.
Эту формулировку я
I've
повторяю
repeated this expression many times.
много раз. Нам не нужна
We
их
don't need their love. We need their fear.
любовь. Нам нужен их страх.
Oh.
Когда Россию
When
любили,
they loved Russia. Who ever loved Russia? Who? Who was it? Definitely not Poland. Definitely. Who has what?
Россия, как правило,
Russia was usually weak.
была слабой, знаете, такой ельцинской,
The Russia of Yeltsin and Gorbachev.
Горбачевской. Пьяной девкой.
It was like a drunken broad.
А моя родина не
My motherland is not like that.
такая. Мою родину
My motherland, the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics.
Советский
Well, it's gone. There is no more union. There is no Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. The fuck are you on about?
социалистических республик
Your motherland is gone.
боялись.
Was feared and respected. Well, your motherland is gone forever, so
И уважали. Такой подход
I
мне
like this approach a lot more.
нравится гораздо больше. Погода и новости.
And now the weather and the news. And now the weather and the news. There you go. Trump should call Elon Musk personally and tell him to restore Starlink to Russia, or else they will use 50 billion tactical nuclear weapons and just destroy everything, destroy everyone, destroy SpaceX, destroy every American company that is against Russia, and destroy Ukraine. It will be very brutal. It will be very bloody, cruel, and it must be done. Thank you. It'll definitely be done. Russia has to go beyond plus ultra. So we again took a little bit of a dive into the delusional minds of the Russian propagandists that feed their population with extremely interesting ideas. I would like Russia to do even a fraction of what they said, to try to attack the SpaceX satellites, the manufacturing companies. I'd like them to see them try it. I'd like to see what that leads to. All right, we have done this. We have done this. We're finished with this. I was thinking of doing one more thing. One more thing. You know what? I'll save it for later. I'll save it for later when I get more details. So I guess this is it for tonight. We've done a few topics. We've done so well. I'm so proud of us. I'm so happy. Thank you all for being here. The few of you that have decided to join me on this news stream. As I cannot raid using this channel as it's too small right now, I am going to finish this and see you later, alligators. Okay? See you later. Bye-bye. It has been lovely.